Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and today we're talking about $100. Well, what I mean by that is, what would you do if you had $100 to start? So I've chatted with 3 of my successful students and friends about what they would do if they had to start all over again with just $100. This is a fun episode to hear their thoughts, hear some of the unique strategies and things that they would do if they had to start all over again. And these are folks that sell physical products online. And guys, I really believe that if you are just starting out and you don't have any other idea of what you want to do, if you're just looking to make some extra money, then selling physical products online is one of the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, lowest risk, lowest dollar amount needed to be invested in type of businesses. And you can have massive, wild success with it. The learning curve is not big. I have people that just get started, have never sold anything in their entire lives and do well with this. Selling on Amazon is one of the ways that we'll talk about. Greg Perry, my friend, sells on eBay. He would continue and he would do eBay. And so this is just a really great episode to hear some insight and wisdom from some folks who are very successful in their business and what they would do. I know some of you are wanting to start a business and just don't have a ton of money to invest. And that's okay, because I'm here to tell you it does not take a ton of money to start selling physical products online. In fact, in my session, the part where I'm going to be sharing what I would do, I'll show you some ways that you can start with $0. So eager to jump into this, talking about what would you do if you had to start over with $100. So I will go first. Then we have Jimmy Smith, Honey Woods, and my friend Greg Perry. And so this is going to be a fun episode. So guys, if I had to rewind the clock and start back all over again, and I just had to start with $100, where would I begin? Well, guys, the cool thing is you can turn $0 into money to increase that $100. So here's what I would do. Some of the strategies that I talk about will fit perfectly into this. So I would probably do the very first thing is I'd look around my house. Surely there are things sitting right around your house, definitely things here in my house that I have not looked at in a while, never opened up, things that I don't use anymore that somebody would gladly pay me for, just haven't gotten around to selling it. I would look at those things that I could sell on eBay. I would look for things to sell on Facebook Marketplace. I would take really good pictures of those things, as good as I possibly could, because pictures are going to sell. I would sell the used items on eBay, the good used items on eBay. I'd sell the not quite so good used items on something like Facebook Marketplace. I'd look maybe for buy-sell trade groups as well in my local area and post those things there. So I would totally start around my house, things like books, old board games. Guys, if you have things like even VHS tapes, I know you might be thinking that's crazy, but those things still sell. You could put those up on like eBay. And so I have a friend up in Northern Indiana, Jeff Clark, who sells old VHS tapes, old vinyl records, VCRs, even old TVs. He sells them on eBay because there's a lot of guys who are gamers that want that. I guess it's 8-bit as far as the resolution, and the old games work better with the older TVs. And so gamers will buy those old TVs to have that retro gaming experience. So if you have anything like that, that's still super valuable. You're not going to get hundreds of dollars out of it, but you're going to be able to make some money, whereas you might earlier have thought it's just complete trash. So I'd look, number one, items around my house that I could flip. I'd look in the attic, things that, man, I forgot about the baseball card set, or whatever is up there that you just not doing any good for you. You could turn that into cash. So I would start with things around the house. The other thing then I would do is, what is around your friend's house, what's around your neighbor's house, what's around, think about your family. What do they have at their house that they're not using? Well, you may not, some of them may just give it to you and not expect anything in return. They just rather have it out of their house. But some folks would gladly would love to turn it into cash, but don't know how to do it or don't want to take the time to do it. So you could do what we call a consignment. Go to them and grab the things out of their house that could be sold on eBay, could be sold on Craigslist. The newer stuff, or use Craigslist, even Facebook Marketplace as before. Newer stuff could be sold on Amazon. Sell those things and split the profit with them. So you have zero out-of-pocket cost for that type of inventory, and you can turn that into cash. So those are some of the things I would do. I would also then go to like garage sales. I'd go to thrift stores. I'd find very inexpensive things that I could buy for cents and turn into dollars. And I would just do that over and over and over again. I know with COVID-19 happening, garage sales probably were kind of not happening for a while, but now I've heard my friend Greg Perry, who loves to do garage sales, he's saying up in Tulsa, they're starting to have those and estate sales. So I'd be going to garage sales for sure, looking for things there that were in good enough condition that I could flip on eBay, things that are new that I could sell on Amazon. And I would just consistently just turn my money over. And pretty quickly you'll be able to have a nice little investment build up that you could then buy other stuff. So I would probably start with those things. Once I had, even you could start directly on Amazon even. And I know that's what Jimmy and Honey are going to talk about, their replen strategy. So they'd buy low cost things that are fast moving so they could flip that quickly. Jimmy mentions that his inventory right now is flipping every 18 days, meaning he sends something to Amazon and 18 days or so later, he expects it to be sold. And so you could turn your money very quickly using that type of strategy. So I would probably buy things low cost that are very fast moving and just get my investment up slowly or as fast as I possibly could, but get it, increase it, double it, triple it, quadruple it. And then I could, even do more, but I wouldn't be buying, things that cost a lot. I'd be buying very low cost things. I'd be doing what we call the inch deep, mile wide strategy. So if I was walking into a retail store, finding things that I could purchase, I'd be looking to buy, if I found something that was a good ROI, I'd buy 2 or 3 of them. And I would do that over a multiple long list of SKUs to spread my money across, because some are going to sell fast, some aren't going to sell fast, and some might not sell at all. And so you minimize your risk that way. So consignment, find things around your home on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, yes, even Craigslist and Amazon for the newer stuff. And I would just do that over and over and over again and just flip my money as fast as I possibly could, looking for items that have a higher return on investment. You don't want to spend, $100 on one item that you make $5 on when you can spread it across multiple items that you can make, 100% profit on. And that is so possible. Have people in my Amazon Legends group that they are strict with their return on investment numbers and will only buy items that will yield them 100% return. And that is so super possible. That's what I would do. I'm eager to hear more from Jimmy, Honey, and Greg, and you'll hear from them right after this. All right, Jimmy, welcome back again.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I'm excited to be here.
And excited about your podcast too. So super cool that you're doing that. And
Thank you. Yeah.
Honored that I was your first guest. Very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where can people find that podcast?
Yeah, so it's actually at biblicalbusinessleaders.com. And so you can listen to the podcast on any of your podcast, players. And there's also a free Facebook group and stuff that's linked there as well that you can follow that. To join.
Love it. Excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
All right. So the question at hand, I love helping newer folks, Jimmy, and some people get started with a very small amount of money. And so I picked $100. So if you had $100 and you can, everything now, not back, 5 years ago, but if you ever know everything now, you had $100 given to you, where would you start?
Yeah. So for me, I would start really in the same business model that we're doing now. So I would go to Walmart or a regional grocery store or something
Uh-huh.
like that, and just look for regional products or store
Mhm.
brands, and just see if they were available on Amazon to sell. So it's a similar model to what we use now, but I would
Yeah.
just it'd be starting smaller.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I had $0, then I would start at garage sales and sell things on eBay. So that's kind of I would do a couple of those different things to really start our
Oh,
business.
you totally could. You could start. I mean, you could do both. It wouldn't have to be just one thing. So you could
Mm-mm.
take your $100 and go spend it at Walmart,
Yeah.
knowing what you know. And when you say store brands, what do you mean by that?
So like Walmart has mainstays, they have equates, they have their own private label brands essentially,
Mm-hmm.
that is their products that they're selling. And so that's what I mean by that. And really, then that Amazon's not selling them themselves. You know that there's typically going to be less competition
Mm-hmm.
from because nobody can buy those wholesale. So
Yeah.
I would look for those types of products.
Yeah. And how many, if you had to do that over, so obviously $100, would you
Mhm.
spend $100 on Equate toothpaste on one brand, or would you spread it apart, spread it around?
Yeah, so I would spread it around. Obviously, I would probably try to buy two of each different thing and see how many
Mhm.
different items I could start with. And
Yeah.
if 80% of them sell out, then I know to go back and buy that 80% with the money
Yeah.
that I got from the sales, right? Because if you go all in on one or two products and they don't sell as well as you thought they would, then you're out the money.
And you're
So
in trouble. You lost your $100.
exactly.
Yeah. And guys, Jimmy's talking about the replen strategy that basically him. I helped him with the back end of it, but the replen course that we did together, 0 to 100K in replens, and I'll put a link to the show notes in that. And yeah, I totally 100% agree with you that you could take $100 now based on what you know. I know this is a hard question because it depends on what you buy, but you're a numbers guy, so you'll probably be able to take a crack at this better than anybody else could. How quickly do you think you could get to like 200, 500, 1,000 if with what you know what to buy?
Yeah.
And guys will train you how to buy what to buy too. But that taking $100, how long would it take to double, triple, quadruple, and maybe have $1,000 in sales?
Yes. Well, $1,000 in sales, that'd probably be, two turns. So, if you had $100 and you turned it into 300 in sales, you'd
Uh-huh.
be making about $100 of profit from that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because there's fees that come out,
And
et
two
cetera.
turns meaning like how long in your obviously buying stuff that's going to sell
Yeah.
fairly fast, how long will you be able to turn your money?
I would probably say to get to 1,000, 2 months, with
Months.
all the lead time that you have for shopping,
Yeah.
shipping it in, selling it, and then you have to wait for Amazon's disbursements and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I think 2 months you could go from
Yeah.
$100 to 1,000 in sales, which is probably about $300 in profit.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
maybe
you
maybe
wanted
a little faster depending on how fast things go. But for us right now, our average time of our products being at Amazon before they sell is like 18 days.
okay.
So it's gone down quite a bit. It used to be 30 days.
Okay.
So, if it takes you 30 days to sell everything that you sent in, two
Mhm.
months would probably do it.
Yeah. And ideally, guys, you're going to turn that back. I mean, especially if you're starting with $100,
Mhm.
you're going to take all of that and put it back into profitable products instead of
Yeah,
you're not going to be siphoning anything from the business at that point.
right,
You're going
right.
to grow much faster.
And
Cool.
even like for people, if we had $0, like I know this isn't the topic, but you
Oh,
could go to
let's go
like,
there. Yeah.
you could go to Craigslist. There's a free section of Craigslist, and people
Uh-huh.
just want to get rid of like end tables and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just go there, pick up the free stuff, and then like fix it up a little bit, or even just turn it around and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. You can get
Yeah.
$100 in a week and a half,
There you
or
go.
quicker, just doing that. So for anybody
Sure.
that's got $0, like there's no excuse to not even get to your $100 to start on Amazon.
Right.
Okay? So just wanted to throw that out there. But
Love it. I 100% agree with you. Craigslist, you could even flip it back on Craigslist, probably.
yeah, you could.
Probably even not without doing anything to it
Yeah.
necessarily. I mean, ideally, you're going to maybe able to clean it up a little bit, make it look nicer, take better pictures, and you'll get more from it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Jimmy, thank you so much. I appreciate your insight
Absolutely.
on that. Of
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
course. All right, honey, welcome back to the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
You are so welcome. I want to get you and Charlotte on to talk about her book.
Yes.
Let's do
Yes,
that.
my daughter,
Tell-
she'd be proud.
what's her book called and where can people find it?
It is devotions for kids. It's 60 days of devotions for kids by a kid. She actually just turned 12 years old, and she is a published author now. So I'm super
That is
proud of
so
her.
cool. And obviously
Yeah.
it's on Amazon, guys. You can go grab it. It's a great book. It's even, I mean, I looked through it and it's good for adults too, but it's nice. If you had like 2 minutes to have a devotional, that's a
Yep.
great option to pick up.
Bite-sized devotions. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, honey, the question of the day is, if you had to start over, you know everything that you currently know, but if you had to start back over ground zero here and I gave you $100 to start with, what would you do with that $100?
Well, first of all, thanks for the $100 because that's great. It's great to have that as a start. Funny enough, we actually did only start with a few $100. We didn't have very much when we started, so there would probably be a lot of similarities to what we did do.
Sure.
I wouldn't be. I think sometimes you get stuck in the I got to start this, so I have to have all these fancy tools and all these things, they're just the perfect tape or whatever you're looking for.
Right.
And I think with $100, that's definitely going to be the least of my concerns.
Right.
Whatever I can get free and cheap is going to be ideal as far as the business, the logistics of it. But I would probably do really similar to what I did.
Which was what?
Looking for just really low cost items that I can flip fast. So we did a lot of party supplies,
Okay.
small things that don't take up a lot of weight and space in a box that don't cost very much. So I look for really low cost items. I did a lot of stuff from the dollar store, believe it or not. So I would probably make more of an effort to make sure that my ROI was higher. There was times I'd be like, oh, it's not that big a deal if I only get, 50% back ROI, which it's still not a big deal. And I don't mind that now, but starting out, if I started with a very small amount, I would probably be a lot more strict as to, I want to make sure that I'm getting the best profit I can get off of this so I can grow that faster. But yeah, just really low cost items, making that my focus. Finding replenishables is definitely key for my business too. So I'm not spending tons of time to make a little bit of profit. I want to make that work fast for me. So finding just some small, cheap or inexpensive, I guess, inexpensive items that will flip fast so I can grow that $100 quickly. So
that's awesome. I remember when you started, you were telling me about the party supplies. What given this, you don't have to tell me an example of a party supply, but like the buy cost and how much you sold it for.
We actually, we had some party supplies that I think where we were sourcing there, it wasn't a common thing. And so it was, baby shower items, and we'd find a bundle. And at this party store, I could get them for, maybe around $1 or so, and put 2 or 3 in a bundle and sell it for like $15.
Oh my gosh.
So
your buy cost was $3?
Yeah.
3 to 15?
So that we did really great on our ROI for some of those party supplies was great. We were able to grow it pretty fast because we were just finding something that was, we didn't know at the time, but apparently it was harder for people to find. So we found that thing that didn't have everybody in the world selling on that listing. We just happened to find some really great items that were fast sellers that were really profitable.
I would imagine that if you were in a party store or a dollar store right now, that those are the type of barcodes that you're not going to scan and find most of the time and find the product, correct? You're going to need to type in the brand name. You're going to need to type in the title.
Definitely for the dollar store. Absolutely. We don't scan anything there. But there were some other party stores that I think at the time we scanned, and who knows what I could have sold if I would have known reverse sourcing at the time. But finding the bundles, finding those things. The seller app, the Amazon seller app has that picture scanner. I've used that a lot looking for things. So maybe I'm like, I don't even know what to look up for this. It's got sports things on it, but I don't know what they would call that. Right. So, sometimes the picture scanner, I would use that for a visual search or just try and typing in things, typing in the brand, typing in what it is, the best that how, for party things, maybe it's, birthday plates, but then you're going to come up with so much stuff. So for that, I probably we did use a lot of the visual scan as much as we could for certain things. If you just have no idea what to type in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, guys, and the Amazon seller app is completely free. Just got to have an Amazon account, and you can you can scan the picture of the item, and then it'll usually a lot of times bring it right up. So
Yeah.
awesome. Anything else you would say if you were starting with $100?
No, I mean, really, I think you might not think that $100 is a lot, but I can just in my head right now spinning all the things I could get if I only had $100. You know,
Right.
just inch deep, mile wide. You know, don't feel like you've got to get a bunch of stuff. So if I would go to the party supply store or the dollar store, you know, I'd come out with a lot of different things. I wouldn't just clear a shelf of one specific item.
Right.
You want to make more opportunity for your products to sell, for people to be able to buy things. And so if you have a little bit of a lot of different things, you're going to be able to provide the opportunity better.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could do with $100, really.
Yeah, and then you flip that and go back and buy those items that did sell, and just maybe never or go back and never grab the ones that took forever or didn't move at all.
You learn from it. Exactly.
Brilliant, honey. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Greg Perry, thanks for being on. I think this is your first time on Streams of Income, isn't it?
I'm thrilled. It's an honor to be here.
This is going to be fun. And I'm going to have you on again because we're working on something together that we will announce to everybody. But so you guys can't see Greg on his screen, but it's something funny, and I'll let him share what it looks like. Those of you watching this on YouTube can see. But Greg, I'm giving you $100, and you have to start all over again with the knowledge that you have. Where would you start with that $100?
Well, if I lost everything and only had $100, I'd be so down in the dumps that I'd first need to give my life meaning again. So I know of no better first investment than to take $6.99 and buy a baker's dozen of Krispy Kreme.
There you go.
So that would get me going.
That would. For those of you who can't see, he's got a green screen with Krispy Kreme donuts in the background. It's hilarious. So just watch this on YouTube and you'll get to see what he's talking about. So, but yeah, no, that would not be a bad first investment for sure.
I think attitude is everything.
$93 left.
Yeah. And can I say, you're letting me cheat a little bit, because starting over with $100 is a lot of money to leverage. I mean, that's an easy thing to do.
Wow.
So, well, yeah.
And let's walk through that. So feel free to say, I mean, you can even, I just picked $100 because it's a low enough number that pretty much anybody could probably come up with that. But I understand that there's folks that even don't want to risk that. So feel free to talk about strategies that you could do for free, or even if you had $5, go for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll use the 100, but I'm just saying, I want to encourage people that even that is really a lot of money if you think it through. So first, I'd look around my house or apartment for anything I no longer want, but is too big or too heavy to ship, to sell online. It's not something I'd sell on eBay or any place like that, because they're just heavy, and such as those old weight sets that every man has had at least once in our life and never used. And so I would list everything like that on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Because, or there's a Nextdoor app. There are lots of apps, but I'd probably hit Facebook Marketplace first.
Okay.
And the cost to list on Facebook Marketplace is $0.
Yeah.
And the commission, when things sell, is $0.
Yeah.
And people pay with cash unless you've agreed on Apple Pay or PayPal or something, and it's all your money. So when someone wants your weights, I'm using that as an example. You meet them at a busy spot between both of you, like a convenience store parking lot, and you make the trade. And you can also leave them on your porch and ask them to drop the money through your mail slot or under the mat. It's higher risk that they won't pay, but it's as easy as it gets for you.
Sure.
And it works even if you live in an area of the country still under full martial law, as I like to call it. But and speaking of the virus thing, actually, and weights, if any of you, hardly any used weight set or weights are still available in the United States right now, because during this lockdown, they sold immediately when people couldn't go to the gym. Old weights, dirty weights, cheap weights, they're all gone at tremendous prices. So it wouldn't be a bad time to do, whether you only have $100 or not, if you're not using them. But Anyway, I then ask close friends and family members for the same kind of things. And depending on your relationship, you can split the income or offer a commission. And hopefully most would tell you to keep the money after you give them your sob story of being down to your last $100.
Yeah, friends and family might just say, "Hey, just keep it. I'm just glad to be I'm glad to have those weights out of my garage."
Yeah, so that's great. At the same time, I'd be looking at the same sources, your home, your friends, your family, for things not heavy and hard to ship. And I would be listing all of that on Facebook Marketplace and eBay at the same time. Because of the way Facebook Marketplace works, you will never risk selling the same thing at the same time. So it's perfectly safe to list the same item on both places. And if you don't have an eBay account, open one. It's free and it's simple. You can easily list the same things on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace. Like I said, just write up one listing and copy and paste it and the photos to the other. It takes a few seconds to do the second platform. So of the many who sell on eBay successfully, and hundreds of thousands of people sell on eBay successfully, most have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea. And still, they do well. I mean, they have lousy photos and they don't know anything really, and they still do well. So, I mean, not everybody, but the majority really do sell the things they want to sell. You can too. There's an entire art and science on how to maximize eBay to get started, but just make sure you take 4 to 6 great photos of what you're selling. Don't have a bunch of clutter in the background, and that's the biggest key. People want to see what they're buying because they can't touch the actual item.
Right.
So since you're starting over, I also suggest going on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, go for the fast nickel and not the slow dime. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
By fast nickel, I mean, you want to sell things pretty quickly, so you don't want to hold out for the top dollar you can get, as you would do with what we call a slow dime. So you're down to your last 100. You need to be churning that cash constantly and reinvesting it for more things constantly. So don't price your items in the higher range of what they're going for. Price them in the medium range of what they sell for in the same condition. And once you've listed all you have, start consistently now actually spending money, going to garage and yard sales for more inventory. And not everyone likes that idea of going to such sales, but I want to tell you real fast how to do that. But I suggest you can take that $100 and build it into a major income just with garage and yard sales.
Wow.
What if you don't know what to buy to resell? Well, take your phone and install the eBay app. And you can always look things up when you're at a garage sale to see if they're selling and what prices are. And you want to make sure that you know how to look for what things sold for, not for what they're selling for currently. In other words, just because somebody wants $250 for their Aunt Sally's used ash urn doesn't mean they're going to sell that for $250. But so you want to see what things like you're looking at sold for. And I'm going to give you a list of 4 or 5 things to just look for. And the idea is you want cheap. You want to be churning this $100 over and over and over. I'm going to get a little drink out of my glass.
All right.
All right. Yes, I'm a professional. So here are some bolos. Be on the lookouts. And you want cheap. You want something that's common at many yard and garage sales, and things that people just don't really know are worth money. I would look for rock and roll t-shirts from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, wow.
They're all over, surprisingly. And some of them sell for good money on eBay, especially if you cannot find any that have sold recently. That means you might have a rare one. And so that's pretty critical. I would look for typewriters that work under $15, that sell for under $15. A lot of times people will be selling a typewriter for like $3 because no one wants a typewriter these days. The reality is a lot of people want typewriters. That's really shocking, but they sell for some good money depending on the quality and how well they work.
You say electric and manual?
Absolutely both.
Okay. Wow.
You'll find a lot at garage sales. Really surprising. Another thing that I just run across so much of this stuff, expired and real old, but factory sealed inkjet cartridges and ink and toner. And even expired, people buy these. And garage sales, they're really great for garage sales because the sellers know, the garage seller people, they know it says expired in 2006. They see that and they know they can ask just a few pennies. And so many times I've said, how much is this ink that expired? And they'll just say, oh, just take it. Just take it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And you can actually sell that.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. So give me an example. I know it can totally vary, but what would you expect to be able to get on eBay for some expired ink?
Yeah. If it's a name brand, and it's almost always going to be HP. Okay. That's don't go for an off brand. So let's say it's HP ink, on the average, you'll get $10 for it.
Nice.
$9.99.
Free to $10. I'll take that all day long.
Just free 10, or you pay the quarter for it. And make sure it's factory sealed. Or if the box isn't sealed, look in it and make sure the inner packet, it'll be in a foil pack or something. Make sure that's sealed. As long as that's sealed, buyers are fine. I have no idea if 15-year-old toner cartridge works, but people buy them. So for whatever reason, whenever you ask the question, whenever you're asked, why would people buy expired in 2006 inkjet ink? And your answer is, I don't know and I don't care. So
that's right. I don't know and I don't care. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I would look for any new clothing items, whether it's new or not, but new with tags. Obviously, they bought it, they never wore it, it's still got the tags. If it's major brand, Under Armour, Ralph Lauren, and so on. I mean, you want those top brands. Now, I would make sure, since you're new to it all, if you don't know much about clothing and everything, as long as it's new with tags, I wouldn't pay more than $3 for each item, because some of it won't be worth anything, even though it's new with tags. But you'll get $7 for it. I mean, you'll make your money back, and they ship first class, or they'll be under £1, so it'll be cheap to ship. But unless you know men's or women's clothing, and a big tip, men's clothing is better to buy and resell than women's clothing, at least right now, because there are fewer sellers that specialize in men's clothing.
Yeah.
The price is a little bit lower, but the demand is higher because the number of sellers is lower.
Wow.
So you might want to look for men's clothing especially, but hey, who can pass up, an Under Armour ladies, I don't know, pants, I don't know. But so don't pay over $3 for new with tags, but you're going to find a lot of those and they're going to make you money. And finally,
brilliant.
Finally, and this is another thing, like used expired inkjet printer ink, people will sell at a garage sale for 10 cents, a quarter, partially full perfume bottles from the 60s, from the 70s.
Okay. Yeah.
And if it's Chanel or something like that, just don't even look it up. Just start buying them and say, I think I know some people that might want this. I don't know. And they'll sell it to you for a quarter. There are used Chanel perfume bottles from 3 decades ago. Oh, they sell for $70, $80, $90.
Just the bottle. Wow.
With a little perfume in it.
A little bit of perfume.
They want that discontinued smell.
Yeah.
And just a tip, once you become wealthy off your $100, when you go to estate sales, don't look at anything, go straight to the bathroom. No one ever looks in the bathroom for anything. And you'll find these perfumes. That's a big tip, by the way, for estate sales.
That's awesome.
And that's what I would do. And I would just enjoy my unlimited Krispy Kremes after I make all that money the rest of my life.
I love it. Greg, thank you so much for that advice. Enormously valuable. And I can't wait to tell everybody what we got planned, and that'll come, and we'll probably have you on an episode here in just the next few weeks. So thank you again, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, guys. 3 very successful online sellers telling you what they would do if they had to start over with $100. Very insightful conversation. I had a blast thinking through that. They gave you some really, really good ideas, really good wisdom on that topic. And if you're in that position, or it doesn't even matter if it's $100 or $500 or $1,000, or you're starting with nothing, I am telling you right now, there is really, in my mind, not a better opportunity to be able to start making money right now. If you have $0 to invest, you're just at a point where it's not even possible to put anything into it. I am telling you, you can make this happen. I've seen it over and over and over again. I just picked $100 because it was kind of it's a low amount to get started in business. It's an amount that almost anybody could come up with. But I guarantee you, if you are starting with less than that, you can make this work, especially with the strategies that I talk about, like with consignment and what Jimmy talked about with like going on Craigslist and finding things that are free and flipping those and turning those into money. If you want to do this, it is possible. If you have a why, if you have a strong enough reason to do this, it is so possible. You can do it. And guys, I want to be here. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to help you out. Reach out to me if you have any questions, Ryan@ryanrieger.com. Also want to let you know that all 3 of these members are in my Amazon Legends group. They learned a ton with that. Jimmy credits the Legends group with much of his success. Before they got into the group, they were at $10,000 a month. Now they're at almost $200,000 per month in sales. Crazy, I know. But I want to give you the opportunity to jump into that group, a trial, $1 for 30 days. If you just go to amzlegends.com/dollar, DOLLAR, you'll be able to get into the Legends group for $1 for a trial. It's an awesome group, an awesome community, tons of content, tons of value in there. Would love to have you in that group. You can also go to streamsofIncomeRadio.com. This is episode 41. The link will be in the show notes. Guys, again, thank you for listening. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for every week coming and hearing this podcast. It means the world to me. The emails I get mean the world to me. And we will see you on the next episode.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.